Hey everybody, I'm Anthony.
I'm Zach.
I'm Sadie.
I'm Dan. I'm Becca.
And we are Schultz Unfiltered. And not only are we happy to be here today, and when sometimes big highlights come across, it's also Sadie's 14th birthday today. So we're excited for that. 14. We're going to have, pretty soon I'll have 2 in high school.
Wow.
Which, or 3 in high school.
I hate this place.
3 in high school, which will be crazy. And oddly enough, that is where I met our first guest today, Derek Pedersen. Yeah. I was thinking, so if you're 29 now.
It's probably 2012, I'm 2010.
You were probably a junior.
I was in high school from 2010 to 2013.
That's when I was born.
So 2012, 2011 is when we met. So it's been 12 years or so.
Crazy.
2010 to 2013, 23 years in high school.
Yeah, so it was only sophomore to seniors. Back at Bothell was. I think it's changed now.
Yeah, so you guys...
Junior high was 7, 8, 9.
Yes. And then it changed in between when... I had North Shore School District,
Yep.
And then it's been 4 years now.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so freshmen to seniors. But we're excited to have you today. I wanted to bring on and extend an invitation just because of a lot of amazing things that you've been doing. I think we've interviewed a lot of people so far who are little, I wouldn't say later, but they're in their 40s and have established a career, and we've talked about where they've come. But you, again, 29, but you're now already a senior vice president at Hughes Marino, commercial real estate firm in Seattle. And how long have you been doing that for?
2 weeks out of college, so 2017. So yeah, a little under 7 years probably.
A little under 7 years.
6.5, yeah.
You've already advanced that far in your career. And also the thing that you have done a lot of, and you weren't in high school, was you're now an ultra marathon runner, right?
You can call it that, yeah.
Yes.
I've completed several, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, the kind of things that we talked ahead of time, that there are things that go together, but why don't you give us a little background on where you grew up and where you're from and all those things?
Absolutely.
Oh, hold on, Tucker. Just
Fire
get
away.
started.
Oh.
What's your question?
What was your favorite show at the time?
Show when you were a
What
kid.
time? Oh, when I was a kid?
Yes.
Yeah, like my age.
Scooby-Doo was awesome. I love Scooby-Doo.
They changed the theme song.
Like the OG from the 60s.
Yeah,
The
they
OG
changed
one.
the-
Yes.
What was the old theme song?
Scooby-Doo.
We'll have to
you can
look it
YouTube
up.
it. Yeah.
You'll have to YouTube it.
And they have a ton of remakes and everything.
Oh my god. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Where are you?
I mean, Nickelodeon, Disney, I was like channel 40 and 41 at the time, I think. Just lived on those. Yeah.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where
Well,
are
speaking of
you?
his childhood,
So yeah, I'm let's
Where you-
see. Yeah, local.
we're gonna let Derek talk, and then he can ask another question.
Bothell, born and bred. Actually, crazy story. I found out like a couple months ago. My great grandpa came over to Bothell in like late 1800s. Had a lot of land, and actually 405 was through his backyard, kind of by like Russell's restaurant.
Yeah.
Over there, kind of by the Montevilla Dairy or whatever. So he had a ton of land over there, and that's why I live in Bothell, because my dad bought a piece of property from that guy's son, and here I am. So, yeah, 1994, and my parents are both my dad's from Edmonds, my mom's from Seattle. Whole lineage is from here pretty much. And yeah, grew up in Bothell, went to St. Brendan's Catholic grade school, K through 8.
Yeah.
And then transitioned to public school, junior high in 9th grade for like kind of an awkward year between 8th grade and 10th grade. And then went to Bothell High School.
Wow.
And then, stayed in Seattle more, went to UW for 4 years. And then I work here. So not much else. Yeah.
Well, not much else. I'm sure there's a whole lot,
there is a lot
of life in between. And so, when you were in high school, did you know where you wanted to go to school and what area you wanted to go into?
It was more about what we could afford, honestly. Like, love my parents to death, but blue collar family. My dad works at QFC. My mom's a receptionist at a law firm in Kirkland, and it wasn't a matter. I mean, we had to get financial aid no matter what, and so out of state was pretty much off the table. And I didn't want to go to like a local school, so I was at UW and Gonzaga, honestly, and actually Gonzaga would have been super expensive, but we would have got financial aid. But yeah, UW was pretty much it, and I wasn't a shoo-in by any means. My brother was actually a lot smarter than me, and he got like a 3.9 at Bothell, and didn't get into UW. It was like a crazy year, 2011. A ton of families started suing the school because all these 4.0 guys didn't get in.
Yeah.
And they wanted a lot of out-of-state money and everything. But then I got in, thank God. I was with John File. We went to the ranch drive-in afterwards after I got my golden envelope. So, yeah, blessing. But then...
Well, did you know when you were in high school?
I had no idea.
Did you know you wanted to go to school, or that you wanted to work?
I knew I was going to go to
afterwards?
a 4-year in a university for sure.
You did,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I was pretty. I mean, yeah, I took high school pretty seriously from a sports standpoint and an academic standpoint. I think I graduated with a 3.8, 3.85. So yeah, that was always on my radar to go to college.
Did you know that you just wanted to go to school, or was there something specific that you wanted to do?
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. And so part of that was probably, which led, I mean, just a lot of not knowing where I wanted to go or what I wanted to become at college at all. Like, honestly, not until probably my junior year in college, which is crazy. But that's pretty normal, honestly. You get to these huge universities and everyone thinks they want to do certain things. I wanted to be an engineer and got flushed out of the chemistry and the physics classes so fast. It's not even funny.
When I want to grow up, I wanted to be an engineer. Now I want to be an astronaut in NASA.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So what was
awesome.
it? How did you know you were flushed out of the engineering department?
And I mean, so these are 400-person intro chemistry classes, and again, I did really well at Buffalo. I mean, not really well, but 3.8, got by. And I'm getting like, it's a grade on a curve, but I'm on the bottom, 25 quartile of these tests where there's an average, 50% are below, 50% are above, and I'm like at the bottom quartile. And I'm like, I studied my tail off for this test. Just different level of smarts, especially at UW in these science classes and everything. But persisted. Like, I'm a very persistent individual, and I gritted through it. But just got flushed out like latter half of my sophomore year. Just wasn't in the cards. You had to meet a certain GPA, and I was below that.
So Zach is very interested in being an engineer right now. And
Yeah.
so how does that make you feel when you hear that?
Well, Zach's probably a lot smarter than I was. It's competitive, yeah.
How's that make you feel? That you can just be easily flushed out by GPA?
Yeah.
Not worried at all. Not whatsoever.
Good.
Pretty
Love that.
confident in that one.
Love that. Yeah. Again,
Wait, is that the same thing for a lawyer?
Yes.
Do you have to have a higher GPA?
Well, it's the same thing. So if you're taking pre-med, pre-law classes or whatever they may be, their job is almost to weed you out so that they keep the best only to go further on.
So what happens if I don't do good? I get rid of
What happened? What happened when he didn't do good?
so yeah, pre-med, pre-law, I mean, any kind of advanced, degree outside of, general business, I guess. I mean, business is super competitive at UW as well, though. You're gonna have to. There's definitely there's a period of time where you have to kind of grind through and prove yourself for those first 2 years. And if you don't, you got to pick a different major. So, which is what I did, because I transitioned to business route, didn't get into the business school. So, at that point, I was like, just what am I going to do with my life? And so I majored in economics, which wasn't a business degree. I think it was a fine arts or social. I don't know what it actually was under, but majored in economics at UW, quasi-business, and then really and they had a sales program at UW as well, which I got introed in, and I just started getting coffee with a ton of wealthy, rich donors to the UW football program. For context, I worked for the UW football program for a couple of years in college. So I worked under Chris Pedersen and the whole football team there, and kind of traveled all the away games and everything with the team. And so got kind of exposed to a lot of different donors who would come and talk to the football players about careers after college or after football. And I would just ask them to coffee after those meetings. They're like, "You're not on the team." And I'm like, "I know." So
how did that conversation go? So you're sitting here struggling through not making engineering, not making business school, but then working with the football team, like, look at these guys with all this. I mean, they're successful individuals. And so what gave you the inspiration to then just like, hey, be bold and ask them that?
I think it was more just like sheer, like, figure this out, Derek. and like I needed to figure this out, or else I'm gonna be disowned by my family or something.
Did you feel that? If you
not at all,
if you came from self-described humble beginnings, did you have that pressure?
My parents were pretty they were pretty upset just because like, what do you like? I had like long hair my freshman year of college and was partying a lot, and I would go to every class and everything, but it was a hope. They were like, what is this? Is this really an investment in his future kind of deal? Because but he had a good time in college. And so I kind of lost my way there, but no, I think, they would have just been disappointed. They wouldn't have obviously disowned me, but.
Wait, so what was your new major?
Economics. Yeah. Which is, exactly.
Do you have a brief synopsis for him?
Just, the study of money and, psychology of money and everything like that, and supply and demand.
So we've talked about they want to invest. They invest in stocks and whatnot. Yeah, so it's not quite. It's all part of that supply chain. Businesses, companies, on a larger scale.
Theoretical level, I guess. Yeah, not really practical. Which means it's more about just like in books and stuff. I think the fire was lit and this kind of can give context for the next 10 years of my life. I was always surrounded by positive mentors in my life, like Tom Boehner at Bothell High School. And then we met John as well, John File. And then at UW, it was kind of Chris Pedersen's regime and being in the locker room in those speeches and everything. Like I keep having like these really like important mentors in my life that kind of kept guiding me and kept giving me opportunities to succeed, whether I took them or not, but I took a couple. I started reading a ton in my junior year and senior year of college. I never really opened a book before that. And then junior and senior year, I probably read like 20 or 30 books on personal development, self-help, all about money, about goal setting, really just trying to improve and better myself. And so a lot of that just said, start shaking hands, start making and creating opportunities and opening doors for yourself. And so I think that's what gave me the courage. Plus, I didn't have anything lined up post-college yet. I did intern at ProStar Insurance my junior year, though,
yes.
Which was fundamental, foundational.
You had him on a call?
Mr. Derek worked for us as a summer intern.
Yeah, 3 months.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Was I the first or second intern?
I think you were the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I created the program. So.
Yes, we got after you. But you learned how, I think you learned how to call.
Yeah, a ton of skills. How to cold call, how to introduce myself on the phone, how to be organized in my day.
Do you use any of that today?
Absolutely, all my life. Yeah.
What do you do?
Give them a quick.
I help business owners and corporate executives lease and purchase, office space or warehouses.
Oh, so you followed through kind of with what you did.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
After
a
you,
different vehicle. So I'm in real estate versus insurance. But yeah.
But to take them through when you were getting started and you had no contacts, no leads.
Yeah, I didn't come from.
What did a morning or a day look like for you?
Not too far from what it does today. I would make probably anywhere from 60 to 100 outbound cold calls to business owners in Seattle and Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, anywhere kind of in King County, and basically try to set a meeting with them cold about how they should use our services for their next office lease renewal. Because you look in like downtown Everett, even all those high rises and everything are filled with office tenants, lawyers, real estate professionals, financial services, insurance professionals. They all lease space in those buildings, usually on 5 or 10-year leases. And so we represent those companies when they renegotiate with the landlords, or we help them find an office space, negotiate the deal for them, and then we get paid a fee when they move into the space kind of deal.
And how successful were you by percentage, let's say, on those 60 to 80 calls a day?
Started? Probably speak with 60. Your 10% rule kind of deal. So 60 calls, speak with 6 people. And then, I would get, 0 to 1 meeting, 1 meeting a week, maybe 2 meetings a week out of, 500 calls.
So imagine that for a second. You're making, let's say, 100 calls a day. People either not answering or hanging up or telling you no. and then you finally get 1 or 2 meetings out of all that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
So that's 0.4% success rate.
That's 0.1%. So what was it? I mean, so
Like,
so obviously there's not a lot of support or like this
Yeah.
sucks at the beginning.
it was terrible. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So then why did you keep doing it?
Well, because coming out of college, all my friends are making, they all have like real jobs, whatever, but they're all salaried, like maybe 60 to maybe the top guys are making 120 out of college kind of deal. And I was making like 25 grand, and I had to move back home to my parents' house for 9 months because I basically couldn't afford to live with all my friends post college, because rent was like $1,000 a month, and that would have been like half my salary. So I moved home for 9 months, taking the bus every day. And yeah, I made actually like 27 grand that first year. But I knew the reward was like, if I persisted, everyone said, just wait, 3 or 5 years, you'll either make it or you won't, kind of deal. And that was always my personality, was like, I can control my destiny. I can control my future if I can control how much effort I give to whatever I'm pursuing, kind of deal. I was never the most skillful. I was never skilled at really, sports I could get by obviously, but I really succeeded through effort and like work ethic through all my sports career in high school and everything. And then in college, I got good grades because of work ethic and effort, not because I was like intelligent. So I translated that into my career, because I feel like a lot of people kind of mail it in and get by, and the world's becoming very soft these days. And so I just saw an opportunity for me. If I put in the work and committed myself, the results will get there eventually. But yeah, my business is definitely the most delayed gratification business there is out there. I can call someone, I'm probably not going to do a deal with them for, a year and a half, just because the sales cycle is so long. It's not like an instant transaction. So yeah.
So how did that look as you started to gain a little momentum along the way?
Yeah, so you just kind of keep living week to week, pretty much. Hopefully you can get 1 or 2 meetings a week and you're good. So I kind of just spun my tires for 2 years there until 2019, and then I joined where I am now at Hughes Marino.
Other side.
Yeah, Hughes Marino, which is the exact same thing, but it's a much different culture and much different field than where I was at. I'm really aligned with our CEO on personal development and mindset and everything like that. So I just felt, my income skyrocketed in 2019, partly because I was working like, 40 hours a week, maybe at my old firm, golfing a lot, getting drinks with other brokers and everything. And then I cut off all that, cut off alcohol completely. I don't golf at all. And I work probably, 50 to 60 hours now, but I was pushing I pushed 70 to 80 hours a week sometimes in 2019 during COVID for sure.
And what was the activity you were doing?
I'm outbound, like emails, calls, putting together surveys, negotiating deals, finding new tenants to call.
Were you working with anyone at that point? Or?
No, I'm by myself. We had a team. There's a team of us, but I primarily, I was working for another guy at my old firm who was like in his late 40s, early 50s. And I was 22, and it just like different parts of our lives. So, yeah.
So one of the things I think at least in insurance sometimes can be a hurdle is I'm 40. So when I talk to somebody, a client, like, oh yeah, married, kids, bought a house, sold a house, bought a car, like been in like a lot of life experience sometimes that people like to relate to. So you're 22, it's new, and you're trying to convince somebody to use you to help negotiate a commercial real estate deal. Right. When your experience at that point is probably limited. Yeah. So what these guys will be when they graduate and have the same thing. So how did you overcome that with people?
Yeah, you're not going to get, the flashy 40,000 square foot downtown Seattle deal, obviously. You're starting with like 1,500 square feet, firms that probably aren't getting called on a whole lot, and you're just doing a lot of small deals, and you're becoming more of a volume guy and just getting a lot of repetition, getting a lot of experience doing deals. And yeah, you're calling people that, a lot of these business owners love a guy who's young and hungry and will persist and will give a lot of energy to the deal versus a guy who's been in the business for 40 years and kind of mailing it in. we see a lot of that all the time. Like we don't, if I go up to a guy who has 20 years of experience, like that's not necessarily a good thing. He might have some unnecessary baggage that he's carrying with him, or again, he might be working 15 hours a week. So yeah, you can always kind of spin it into your favor, whether you're brand new, because you have the hustle, you have the energy, you have the hunger, or if you're experienced, you know, hey, that guy's living in his mom's basement. Obviously, you have more experience than that guy. So you can kind of always spin it to your favor, however you want to sell it. But I would never let that be a limiting factor for sure.
So before we get to some of the tangibles that you do that you think you might want to tell your high school self,
Oh man,
where do you want to go from here? You're at a pretty high level now. So where do you see the next steps for you going?
From the next 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably raising a family, building a family. I got married last summer to my amazing wife Alina, and we have a house in Bothell right now. And yeah, probably next step is to build a family.
Just continue on the same path you are career-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep investing my money in this, you know, in mutual funds and the stock market and everything. And be smart with my money and keep making more, obviously, and keep putting in the work and don't let off the gas.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of naming your kids when you have some?
Oh,
Ooh, $1 million question. I would get in trouble if I disclose. I won't even. We're not even going to tell our parents when we have kids what the names are until they're born, probably. Lame answer.
Sadie has about 100 names. I'm not sure
Oh,
whether,
nice.
whether to be
Yeah.
happy or concerned.
I've 3 boy names and three girl names. So
Nice.
I would like
What's your top boy name?
my top boy name I really like is
Do you have a top girl name?
yes, it's Rosie, and my top boy name is
Tucker.
No,
Tucker Jr.
no,
Junior.
Okay.
no. Okay, I got it.
Okay, you think
It
what is
is
it?
Dream.
that's like a YouTuber, bro.
It is. It is.
So this we kind of hit it on, but this discipline then led towards maybe some goals to do athletically as well.
I don't know what the switch was for me, but definitely
Wait, actually,
was not. Go ahead.
Go ahead, buddy. What do you got?
actually, my first top baby name I really like is Tap. T-A.
TAP.
That's enough.
T
Tap.
Nice.
A T
T-A-P.
Yeah, T-A-P.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Again, yeah. So I can talk about all the dark side of things. So yeah, I don't know what the light switch was. I think COVID definitely helped me just kind of take a step back in my life and realize what's important. I was living in Green Lake at the time with 3 of my buddies. COVID hit, and yeah, a lot more time on my hands. Shortly after, like in May of 2020, I quit drinking cold turkey. So it's almost going on almost 4 years now.
4 years, yeah.
It wasn't adding any value to my life, and it was getting in the way of work and the way of friends. Again, wasn't contributing to anything positive in my life. So, and that's been like one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I stopped doing that, and I kind of transitioned all that energy into running. I never ran cross country. I ran track in high school, but I ran the 100-meter dash, and I did high jump.
Yeah.
So I was never like a long distance runner by any means. I always thought cross country wasn't that cool, and now I have the most respect for it. But yeah, so I started running. I bought some shoes and started running. I never really ran over, 3 to 5 miles in my life up to that point. So I started running around Green Lake, which is like a 3-mile course, 3-mile loop, just by myself because no one was out there walking because everyone had masks on and everything. But so started running, and I started just basically improving every week, like trying to get more mileage every single week. And then I signed up for a half marathon, which I thought was the most craziest thing I could ever sign up for. And I did that in 2019. Actually, yeah, never mind, flashback. I did that the year before COVID. I ran a half marathon, and then took the next 5 days off. Like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna recover from this. With Riley Rowe,
Yeah.
and John was there. Actually, he didn't do the half marathon though.
Probably good.
Call out, yeah. My time was 1:59, 59, 59. So 59's
Was your goal to be under 2 hours?
Not really, didn't have a goal, but it was pretty crazy to get that number. And then, I started running, and I did my first, I don't know, I just wanted to challenge myself and kind of have something notable to talk to people about. And so I ran a 50 miler. I signed up for a 50 miler during COVID, but then COVID took that out. They canceled it. So I just ran a 50 miler by myself around Lake Washington, which is 2 laps, basically from Bothell, Kirkland, 520 Bridge, UW, Kenmore, and then 2 of those. So it was
2 of those laps.
2 of those laps, which is 25 and 25.
That's a long way, huh?
And I just did it by myself. And I started at 2 in the morning and finished around 11 a.m. And then I was like, well, that was epic, self-sanctioned. And so that kind of increased my confidence a whole lot. So in 2021, me, Riley Rowe, and Blake Rowe, we ran the rim in the Grand Canyon, which is a 48 mile run, run.
Like total, or each had to run that?
Each
amount?
had to run that. Sorry. Yeah.
Each had 48.
Yeah, it was 24 down and 24 back. So rim to rim to rim. And so that was a 48-mile day, and that was a 17-hour day of kind of a hike run. You basically, because it's 6,000 feet drop, you run, and then it's a 6,000 feet up to the north rim, or the south rim, and then down 6,000, up 6,000. So again, just like I wanted to build. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Jesse Itzler, but he has a whole life resume shtick where you just want to build memories each year and kind of look back and be like, oh, that was the year I did this.
And isn't it like every 6 weeks do something? 6 months or 6 weeks do something epic?
Oh, that's a tough task. But I do like a year. I just want to have look back on a year and be like, that was the year I did this crazy thing.
Yes.
Where it gives a kind of that shock factor to a lot of people. So then I ran 100 miles in 2021 and on the coast of Florida, from Jacksonville to down to Daytona Beach, and that took 25 hours.
Did you stop?
I stopped to. I never slept or anything like that though, but I never sat down either. You just you stop at the aid stations every 10 miles, but never stopped running. Like you'd stop for maybe 2 minutes max, just to eat a pretzel or put some calories in your body. That was insanely tough, and for my mental strength, I mean, it did wonders for me, which translated directly into work. Because someone rejecting me on a phone call, dude, I don't care. I just ran 100 miles.
Just keep on going.
Yeah. There's way more important things in life also. So that kind of gave me perspective at work and everything. So then I was like, that was 2021. And then 2022, I did more running. I did 100K, and then I did a couple 50Ks. And then last year I did 2 Ironmans. I did a full Ironman in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and then a half Ironman in La Quinta.
How was that?
What?
How was that experience?
Awesome. I love the Ironman sport. It's a lot more competitive than the ultra running.
Did you do the full
Yeah.
full marathon?
It's like swimming, biking.
2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then 26.2 mile run, back to back to back.
So how much time do you spend training?
Oh, I mean, that's my whole thing is I'm not good enough, so I have to put in unreal hours. I maxed out at 22 hours a week training, and then I would work, 60 hours. So you're putting up, 80 to 90 hour weeks of working and exercising.
So and
Alina wasn't too happy with me.
Yeah, but so now that you're married,
Yeah.
are you keeping up the same pace?
Right now, I actually have an Ironman in July. It's a half Ironman. So no, not that kind of volume anymore. The full requires a ton of volume because I would never swam in my life. I never really swam.
You were a lifeguard though.
Yeah, I know. I don't get sued for that. Yeah. I was good at saves. I was not good at swimming. A lot of lifeguards are swimmers, obviously. But I never swam professionally. So I had to teach myself how to swim really. And then I had to teach myself how to be on a road bike. I've never been on a road bike before. All I had was a running thing. So, but Ironman was very cool. It was a lot more competitive. I mean, you go to those Ironman things and it's just everyone's
athletes.
all
They're
buff
athletes
and stuff. Yeah. It's crazy. You see these 65-year-olds who are just ripped. Yeah.
Well, I think, and the kids I've learned have heard it. I 100% agree with you that you're born or blessed with so much talent or ability, but you can always count on yourself to outwork.
100%. There's a good graph. I could show you guys, but basically it's performance levels, and then it's skill level gets you to here, and then skill level plus hard work gets you to the next rung, and then skill level plus hard work plus grit gets you to the highest peak. So that grit factor is kind of like where the lion's share of the improvement takes place. Because there's a lot of skilled and talented people out there, but the hard work and the grit thing, that's like 75% of the success graph.
So if you were going to go back and tell yourself something when you were this age,
oh man,
what would it be in terms of things to say or habit, at least one habit that you could start to do?
I would read. Yeah, reading really set me free. I know. I did not want to hear that either at all. But like, I just gained so much information. Nonfiction books, or maybe about being an attorney or something. Like anything you're trying to pursue, I guess. Like I read a lot of books on running, which doesn't really make sense. You don't need to read a book and learn how to run. But I don't know. You get a lot of information that you're not going to and definitely vet out the authors before you read these books, because there's a lot of people that are just like self-proclaimed out there right now, and they have good marketing covers and everything. But make sure my advice would be to read the same book like 100 times versus read 100 books. So I guess I would find, and I'm sure you have a laundry list of good books, but yeah, that's what I gained the most of my information from versus people is just really good stuff like Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
well, you guys have any questions, comments?
Crazy.
What did COVID do to your business or? Yeah.
Oh, it slaughtered a lot of guys. I dug in deeper though and worked way harder. So I ramped up my hours in the office during COVID, when a lot of guys just basically golfed that entire year. So I grabbed a lot of market share that year, especially. Had the best year of my career in 2020. And then it got better in 21, 22, and 23, obviously. But yeah, 2020 was like the pivotal moment, because I think I thrive when everyone's like, this is too hard or there's no opportunity out there. That's when I like go harder. I don't know why. It's a psychological problem, or it's not a problem.
I wouldn't call it a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd call it an asset.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So market is kind of tough right now for real estate. And so it's kind of getting me back in that 2020 mindset, which is awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Derek, we want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
and
it.
we might have you back in a little while to tell us how you're updated as you're aging.
Oh yeah, it's
and
me exciting next 10
more,
years.
any more wisdom as you've gone along the way. But I love it because
My gosh, please
hold on.
subscribe
Anywhere you go, you out of college. When I graduated college, I got married and started a job right away, and so I already had commitments and kids and things. And what I want them to see is that's why we're doing it in a second. I like to see how you, as somebody who had what I am discovering now, starts off and can accelerate and then do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Everyone's on their own
backwards.
timeline.
Yeah, do
exactly.
a little timeline.
For sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, as Tucker said, like, subscribe to Schultz Unfiltered.
Hit that
And
little bell.
that's right. Hit it. And we'll see y'all next time. Thanks, everybody.